And so, of course, we couldn't not talk about breastfeeding because you are the boob boss. So let's talk a little bit about breast shape. So I know you talk a lot about the importance of understanding your breast shape and how it matters with breastfeeding. So let's kind of dive into that.
It's so heartbreaking to me as a lactation consultant when moms come into the clinic. They've been pumping, every hour on the hour for 2 weeks, and they're like, Rue, I just don't get it. I'm taking every supplement under there. I'm stuffing my face with Mommy Knows Best brownies. They're absolutely delicious. Right? But nothing is happening. What is going on? And then I'm like, okay, let's do an exam and let's see what we're working with. And I do a breast exam and I'm like, did anybody ever inform you that you've got tubular breasts? And they're like, what? And, moms will say something like, I knew my breast, shape was different, or that one breast was really much smaller than the other, but I really didn't think how that would affect breastfeeding. And for me, it's heartbreaking because this is something that we can figure out, find out, and let moms know ahead of time and set expectations. So breast shape, a lot of times people think breast size matters when it comes to how much milk am I going to produce. Shape matters more. So what do your breasts actually look like? Do they look like two grapefruits? Does it look like a grapefruit and a nectarine? So you've got really asymmetrical breasts. Do they look like zucchini, where they are long and tubular with a huge areola, right? So what do your breast shape look like? And how much spacing do you have between your breasts? So if I was to try and put my hand between my breasts, I'd breast tissue, my breasts are all the way full, all the way around. But if your breasts have a huge spacing in between, you've just got this huge flat spacing, clearing in between your breasts, then I'm worried about you having what we call insufficient glandular tissue. And that means you're missing some of the necessary breast tissue for you to make milk. The thing is, I can let you know this before you have the baby. So for our moms who are like, I'm going to breastfeed, that is the only thing that I'm going to do, I am determined to do it, and you have, severe IGT, right? The chances of you being able to make a full milk supply are going to be low. So to give you enough time before your baby comes, for you to mentally prepare for that, not to say we're not going to try. I'm like, listen, we're going to get as much milk as we can get out of your breast, right? We're going to maximize whatever output you can give us. But to kind of give moms an opportunity to mentally prepare themselves for the fact that my breastfeeding journey may not look the way that I thought it was going to look, is I think one of the biggest gifts that we can give moms. It's not that it's going to be any less heartbreaking, but it really does give you an opportunity to just wrap your head around that.
So many moms kind of have this idea of that they want to breastfeed and they kind of wait until after the baby comes, and that's when they really start learning it or just kind of dive in. So super helpful. Moms, go to a lactation consultant before. I thought this was awesome. You had a video about the hamburger latch, or is it the burger latch?
The hamburger latch, yes.
Yes, I thought that was so helpful. So if you could just explain a little bit about what that is, I think that was so cool.
Awesome. So after working, and I've been doing this for about 6 going on 7 years now. I've been running the Perfect Push. So one of the things that I really started noticing a lot of times with moms with breastfeeding is in the hospital, and even as a lactation, when I worked with as a labor and delivery nurse, in the hospital, anytime you're feeding your baby, my baby, we would always tell you, hold your breast back here, right? And then the more and more I did it, and it's like, get your fingers out the way. And that's what we tell moms over and over again. But the more I did that, the more I realized it did nothing for the actual shape of the nipple. And when you want baby to breastfeed, you're trying to get baby to get as much of the areola right as possible, not to hang on to just the nipple. So if you've got pointy nipples like this boob, if you're holding back here, all your baby is going to do is grab onto what's sticking out. And that's going to be your nipple. So when baby latches, get your hair out the way. All baby's going to do is hang on to the nipple. So the more I started doing this, the more I realized that when you eat a burger, you don't eat a burger like this, right? You squish everything because you want to get that bun, you want to get the lettuce, the tomato, the burger patty, you all in one bite. So that's the same thing that we need to do for our baby. So when you bring your fingers just a little bit closer and you can see everything just kind of sticks out more, right? So when baby goes onto latch, you're actually creating landmarks for them. So you can guide where they go. You point the nipple to baby's nose. They will tilt up and drop their jaw and bite the burger. So you're trying to feed the burger into baby's mouth, right? So that's where I was like, okay, we've been teaching moms how to do this wrong for so long. Because when you're holding, again, holding back here, it does absolutely nothing to that shape. So think of a burger. And always remember, babies eat burgers, they don't eat tacos. So when it comes to positioning your fingers, you need to make sure that they're parallel to baby's lips as well. So when you're coming with that burger latch, you're coming from under here if you're holding baby in that cross cradle hold, right? Because their lips, turn around, their lips are going to be parallel. So now you see when you squish just a little bit closer, point to the nose, baby will drop and get a nice big bite of the burger. And I absolutely love having partners in the clinic with me when we do this, because I call them my hamburger helpers. A lot of the times babies have like thick hands in their face. Mom's like, I can't see. So really having that extra set of hands to help you makes such a big difference. And for moms who are like engorged, and so your nipple trying to squish everything, right? So baby can get a good bite can be difficult, especially when you're engorged. You want to use that reverse pressure and hand express so you can soften the areola first. Always remember your baby needs to get as much of the areola in their mouth, which is the brown part around your nipple, as much of that in their mouth as possible. And once they're on there, we need to free the nipple. And literally this is what baby's going to be doing, right? Compressing around the areola, and all the nipple is the opening. So we don't want baby to suck on the nipple. That is the equivalent of you sucking on your milkshake with your tongue at the end. Right? If you stick your tongue at the end of the straw, it's not going to come out. And it makes babies want to compensate by sucking even harder and flicking. And that's when you come up and you show up in the clinic and you've got pieces of your nipple missing, because literally baby has just been chewing at that nipple.
Wow. Wow. That's such a like helpful like visualization to see. And I'm sure like once you kind of show moms that like to remember the hamburger, not the taco, that's gotta be so helpful. I know I saw that on your page and I was like, I gotta have her talk about that because I've never heard someone say it that way before.